So I've posted a lot of videos on this channel about walking and biking around the Sun Belt and the how that works and the various shortcomings and whatever in the various areas that are a little bit interesting, whatever, all that kind of stuff, right? I did a lot of videos about that, but I'm not sure if I've ever really talked about like the concept of like how to do so and why you should do that. I mean, why is pretty obvious, right? You get good energy, exercise, and I do think that you don't really know an area unless you've walked around it. Like, for example, today, I noticed something crazy on the side of the road, a crazy mailbox, and I've driven down this road hundreds of times, no exaggeration, right? And I never noticed it, and it's probably because, when you're driving on a big road like this, you're going too fast, you just can't notice stuff. You don't really know an area unless you walk it, because you have the time to actually take everything in. That's one part. But of course, all the health benefits, blah, blah, blah. I think the main reason Americans are a little chunkier than our European counterparts is they have an extremely active lifestyle. I've seen so many reports of people who go to vacation in Italy, and they're just constantly eating, right? But they're also constantly walking, and they lose, 5 pounds on their trip, which always surprises them because, like, what? I was eating so much. Yeah. And also, obviously, diet's involved too, but I think the biggest thing is just lifestyle, because I don't think we eat that much differently than, the British, right? Anyway, but yeah, so like, how do you pick good targets for walking? That's kind of what I want to talk about. How do you pick good targets? If you live in just a Sunbelt suburbia kind of area, a lot of times you don't have that much within an easy walking distance. Like my house, where I live most of the time, the nearest restaurant is probably about a 45-minute walk, right? That's a bit much. And obviously, if you want to go to an actual, like, regular store, anyway, you're pushing an hour on a lot of stuff. So what I do is, and there's this constant, right? There's the Mercator. I always forgot how to say it. Marchetti constant, which is basically people are basically willing to commute about a half an hour each way. Your average person, right? There are obviously exceptions. Your average person is willing to more or less commute about a half an hour one way for their job. And so I sort of have adopted that as my kind of constant too. Like, hey, should I walk this? Could I walk this? Or could I bike it? And if I look at a place where I'm going from my house and I check Google Maps and it's like in a half-hour walk or less, I mean, that's like a prime target, right? Just do the walk. Yeah, it would take 3 minutes to drive there. Do the half-hour walk. You'll enjoy it. It'll be great. You can apply the same thing with biking, right? Slightly farther away destination. Check the Google Maps, how long it would take to bike there. If it's 30 minutes or less, still doable. Obviously, with biking, you have more safety considerations than you do with walking, unfortunately, because walking, you can always just kind of walk on the grass. Like, I don't know how many miles I've walked in South Carolina just on the grass because there's no sidewalk. And honestly, that's pretty much perfectly safe because your average car is not going to veer off the road and smack you, right? Whereas bikes, you kind of have to be on the pavement. I mean, I guess if you're really good at mountain biking, you could just also ride on the grass for miles and miles and miles, but you're basically doubling or tripling the amount of effort required to get where you're going. So it just changes stuff, right? But anyway, that's basically how I do it. I don't know. It probably wasn't very, very, profound. But just check. Sometimes, obviously it depends on the errand as well. Like if you're going to do a massive grocery shopping, you don't have a cargo bike or a little cart you can pull behind you. It might not be feasible to go do your Costco shopping, even if you're 25-minute walk away. It might be. I mean, yeah, if you were actually 25 minutes walk from a Costco, I would say, hey, you got to get like a little cart. Like my in-laws in China, when they go to the supermarket, they walk there and they have a little pull cart. It's not weird. Everyone has one because if you're going to walk, you're going to have your little cart to bring your groceries back home. It's not that hard. And of course, cargo bikes are a thing, or just a regular bike with, what do you call those things? Saddlebags. Anywho, the big takeaway from this kind of unfocused spiel is just check your Google Maps. Just check how long it would take you to actually walk from your house or from wherever you are to your next destination, and just see, right? If it's under half an hour, like you should try it. It could be a good jumping off point into a life of slightly more walking. And just check. Just check. 30 minutes under, just walk it. If the nature of the errand itself permits it, right? And of course, as always, be careful. Cars are very squishy. Don't let them get you. But have fun walking and biking.